spaghetti.
S-D-P. The Steve Dangle Podcast. With your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
I want to ask you a question. Maddie, can you bring up the picture?
I don't like it.
What do you feel like the emotion is, Jesse, with Steve when he is
For everybody listening,
yeah.
What is on the screen?
Steve, it's about 7:24 through a 13-minute and 50-second video for LFR last night. And Steve's got his hand on his cheek, and his jaw looks almost like it's it's dislocated. It's over so far. And he's got the David Clarkson eyes going on too. Like that's my fucking water bottle eyes. You know what I'm talking? Remember that?
Our fucking water bottle.
Yeah. So, Jesse, what kind of emotion are you getting from this work of art?
Steve, I owe you an apology.
I know.
Because I have never realized what beautiful eyes you have.
Oh, thanks.
Your eyes are a fantastic color, and I don't think I've ever noticed.
Let me see. They are pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a good color.
Yeah, they're like the like greeny blue kind of thing. Like they look like those nice marbles you'd get back in the day.
Jade marbles.
Yeah, you have beautiful eyes.
How do you think I got my wife? My body? Look at this. Hey, how you doing? Should I talk like this the rest of the show and be a creep like Stephen A. Smith? The whole pre-show, Jesse was just showing me Stephen A. Smith on his podcast talking about sex tips.
Yeah.
And I was just like, why does this exist?
He's
Also,
got a
you
pod-
dropped your poppy already.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's got to be a record. The music hadn't.
I honestly, I think if whoever drops it first is the worst person.
Well, there you
So,
go,
Jesse, you win worst person of the show.
Aw.
Thanks for supporting the troops.
Put it back on. That's a bad way to start my Thursday.
You said what to my grandpa?
So, what do we feel about Steve from that emotion? I want to that
Ernest
picture.
ever do to you?
What emotion are we getting, Jesse?
I don't know. He's not happy.
I think it's
I don't
anxiety.
think- what Leaf fan is happy after yesterday?
Can't be.
You know, like that's the thing. Like you sit there and you're like, fuck, I thought we were better than this.
Jesse, I have sent you a video clip, and I want you to freeze frame it right at the spot. And you know the spot. Trust me when I show you. Now, I want to know.
Klingberg?
No, it's not that one. We will get to that.
I thought that was the one.
This one is the goaltender.
This one's more lighthearted.
Yeah, but Steven, obviously you had a shorter video last night, which I thought was interesting. As a perennial watcher, I was kind of looking at that going, okay, that's a bit of a shorter video. Does that mean the fuse was also shorter?
Well, it's funny because you can't be at a 10 every video, right? So Boston was a 10, or like a 9 or a 10. And the reason the next video was also a 9 or a 10 is because they talked all this shit about being different and then they weren't.
Right. Yes.
The Tampa game was en route to being a 10, and then they win, and it's happy. You can't be there every video. So then they play like their fourth consecutive shitty game, right? Like they were down 4-1. You can't be there every fucking game. So I was just focusing on the guilty parties. Like, I remember how I said mid-season arrives quickly.
Yeah.
I mean, we know who's good. We know who's bad. We know who's bad has the potential to be good.
Yeah.
We know who's good has the potential to be bad. Klingberg, across the board, trash. Kampf, I don't know what to do with that player. He was fine last year, and he's getting to be unplayable. I couldn't help but laugh. So Frank Corrado, who is quickly becoming a star in this business, he did one of his MacBook breakdowns about the Leafs' fourth line being on the ice for a goal.
That would have been a great alternate name for your LFRs, by the way. MacBook Breakdown.
MacBook breakdown. And
For a different reason.
Yeah, MacBook breaking down because it was old and sounded like a motorcycle. No, he's like, well, this is actually a good fourth line shift. And he's pointing out Ryan Reeves. I'm like, you fucker, you know what you're doing with that. But then the guy who screws it up for the fourth line is who? The most important part of it, the center, David Kampf. Boo. Boo and hiss. So Kampf, there's like evidence he could get it together. Like Klingberg is just like from Leafs practice today, the third pair is Benoit Lagesson. They could go with 11 and 7 tomorrow night against Calgary. But if they don't, Klingberg is going to get healthy scratched in favor of two guys who didn't even make the team at a camp.
Jesse, show us the picture. Or Maddie, show us the picture. Now,
if you're a goaltender, tend the goal.
we are going to Klingberg in a minute here, but this moment was the moment that ended the game. It broke the back. Listen, if you're betting, and a lot of people are on because of Jesse on them coming back, right?
Yeah, but
Before this, you felt like it was possible.
Yes.
no, this was the sixth goal, was it not?
Yeah,
but you still feel like
there's
two
less
goals
than
they could do
5
it.
minutes. They could have done it.
No, it was that 5-3 goal, the one before this, right? Is the backbreaker, I would think.
I'm not going to say I'm glad they lost because I'm not, but good. You can't do this every friggin' game.
You'll be interested to know that today, the entire practice was dedicated to penalty kills and team defense.
Well, their penalty kill is terrible. And their team defense is terrible. So, yeah, there you go.
How does this quote make you feel? I'll be honest with you. I actually didn't mind this. Sheldon Keefe, our fans deserve better. It's not good enough.
Good job.
He has never said anything close to that.
No, because his GM has given him license to be honest about his team instead of having them whine and moan and complain which has happened in the past. He called out Austin and Mitch, I want to say early in the Canada season.
Well, he called him out last year.
Yeah.
And when we
had
found
to
out
walk it back.
had to walk it back the next day.
Walk back nothing. I mean, the core is playing well.
All right.
Maybe it's a little different because, you feel like you have license to criticize the guys who aren't necessarily your prize ponies or whatever, but dude, they're terrible.
The biggest problem with the team is team defense.
Yes.
From top to bottom, from the stars down to David Kampf, every single player needs to get their defense better, and it's on the back end and it's with the forward group. And I'm shocked at how much of a problem it is because you think that you think that they would just be able to play defense because we saw it last year.
It's never been
but there
great.
were problems last year too.
There were problems, but never
I think-
like this.
No, you're agreed with you 100%. I think that people overrated how good the Leafs defense was last year. I think that they performed the best case scenario. I was never a fan, frankly, of how it was all made up, but it was the best defense we'd seen in years. It really was.
I don't feel like Riley's not playing poorly.
No,
Brody's fine.
but I think we didn't maybe know how thin it was.
Oh, it's
How close we were to the precipice. And I want to read you this stat. Sheldon Keefe on John Klingberg. We need to protect him better. So Kevin Papetti took that and said, entering tonight's action, there were 188 defensemen in the NHL with 100-plus minutes at 5-on-5. Klingberg had started at just 5.6% of his shifts with a defensive zone faceoff. So that means
I'm not sure you can protect him better than that.
that ranks 187 out of 188. I don't know what else Sheldon Keefe can do. Jonas Siegel
You got to get him off the hockey team.
wrote this. The problem, the Leafs were trying to protect Klingberg plenty before Timothy Liljegren suffered the high ankle sprain in Boston last week. After initially slotting him in their second pair to disastrous effect to begin the season, the Leafs lightened his load considerably. They cut his minutes, eased his competition by placing him on the third pair. They protected him as much as they could, and it didn't help. Then the Liljegren injury happened, and we saw the makeshift pair against Giordano. The Leafs have surrendered 3.5 expected goals at 5-on-5 per 60 minutes with John Klingberg on the ice.
Oh my God.
That ranks in the bottom 10 in the NHL in terms of NHL defenders who've logged at least 155 on 5 minutes. Also alarming, the Leafs own an expected goals mark of 35% when Klingberg shares the ice with Austin Matthews. Even with the Leafs' best player, it's not going well.
Well, I also don't understand why we're ripping into Klingberg so much. I mean, we know that he's an offense-first defenseman. He only makes $800,000 against the Cap. Oh, sorry, that's Eric Gustafson who went to New York. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, sorry. He makes over $4 million. Mm-hmm. Well, good job, Brad. Like,
I don't think
if we're given midterm evaluations.
Yeah, it wasn't a great signing. I think
That's obvious.
we should have known what Klingberg was, and he's never going to be the defenseman that he was in his heyday in Dallas ever again.
But so I was talking about this in the video, and people were like, "What do points have to do with defense?" Nothing. I didn't. Okay. Oh, in the late 1800s, they invented hockey. Fuck. Got to start everything from the beginning. Klingberg was always a defenseman where you took the good with the bad. There's no good. He hasn't gotten a point for, I think I was wrong yesterday. It's either 7 or 8 games. He got 5 points in his first 6 games.
Mm-hmm.
He has not gotten a point.
Eight games he's gone without a point, I believe.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
Bad. Both are bad. He had, I said in the video yesterday, he's had 4 10-goal seasons, 10 or more seasons. No, I was wrong. He scored 10 goals last year. It's just that it was split between Dallas and Minnesota.
It's 7, by the way. 7 games without a point.
7 games without a point. Yeah. This guy has a career high of 67 points, 5 seasons of 10 or more goals, and that doesn't include the 67-point season because he only had 8 that year. So, like, listen, I don't care if you're giving up 9 goals a game as long as you're scoring 10, right? Like, it's just have more goals than your opponent, and he's way not doing that. Like, when he fell over yesterday, like, I think we were all getting caught up in how funny it was. Who falls over like that? No one in the NHL.
No,
like,
his skating isn't up to par. Like,
I've seen guys.
That's basic stuff.
I've seen guys toe pick. I've seen guys trip over their feet. That was like a. You ever see the video of that old guy riding a bicycle backwards? And at the end of the video, he's like, "Oh, I've been doing this since I was a kid." And then he goes, "Rrr," and the video cuts off before he falls off. It just ends on the. Rrr. And then the next.
I don't think I have. But
the end of the video is a photo of him in the hospital.
No, I have not seen that.
It's a. If you want to feel like a bad person,
okay,
there's the video for you. That's how he fell. He fell over like. He fell over. What is that? EURRGH. That's how he fell over. Like,
there he is on the ice. If you want to bring that.
Look at that. But then, like, here's the great thing about falling down. Kids, let this be a lesson. You get back up. And once he got back up, it's like he hit factory reset. He hit factory reset.
Mm-hmm. Like,
and then, like, where's he going after this? He's like standing in the middle of the slot.
It's over at that point.
What killed me about that goal was there was 4 guys there, and none of them had anyone.
Like, here's the worst thing that I could say.
That's a 3-on-4.
I know, it's terrible. This is the worst thing I could say about Klingberg's defense. After he fell down and got back up, he did exactly what I'm going to do in the Easter Seals tournament tomorrow, which is, all right, at least I'm in the slot taking up space in general. He doesn't move. He doesn't go towards someone. Like, whenever there's these breakdowns, like, I don't know what a coach would say, but, like, Max Domi could be better here, too. Let's be honest. I mean, that shouldn't be his guy. But, like, when there's a breakdown, I think worst case scenario, just fucking pick someone up.
Sure.
Even if it's not your guy, pick somebody up.
More egregious parts of it was the 2-1 goal, is that it didn't happen immediately on the Klingberg falling down instance. There were opportunities within this scrum to get your defense together and just play as a team in that little area in front of the goal.
There's 5 Leafs there.
It takes about, I think it's like 10 seconds or 20 seconds after Klingberg falls and they enter the zone. They send the puck around a little and then they finally score. It's a complete mental breakdown by everybody on the ice. And it starts with that and nobody getting back. And there's a serious problem with the guys, as you just said, picking up the correct man when they come back into the zone to play defense. On the goal that the 4th line allowed, David Comp's role was to get the man right in the middle who ends up scoring the goal.
From Frankie
Corrado. Yeah, he broke this down wonderfully because it looks on initial reaction that, Reeves is coming back late to grab his man. No, Reeves is coming in last. There should have been a forward in before to grab the guys who are in the middle of the slot ready to score on the goaltender. Defense is abomination.
Reeves is never and will never be the forward who's supposed to be first on it in the defensive zone.
He's always going to be the 3rd guy.
And how many times? Like, I know the stat is crazy. Where he hasn't been on for a goal 4. He's been on for 8 or 9 against. But how many of these 4th line clips have we seen him directing traffic and going, no, what the fuck are you doing? And it's almost always Kampf. Right now, I'm going to say this, and it's going to blow minds. David Kampf is a better hockey player than Ryan Reeves. But through 13 games, Ryan Reeves has had a better defensive mind than the Leafs' $2.4 million a year for the next 4 years shutdown center. Mm-hmm. This guy got monstered, like absolute Space Jam, just took all his powers. What happened?
I thought he
What
was supposed
happened?
to be the defensive center. Like I thought.
Well, he certainly was. He was.
I thought that
He
was
did.
his assignment.
Listen, what your eyes told you last year and the year before when we had him, and we had no idea he even existed before he came here.
And then he was good.
He was a guy who was quite good. I think.
He's not the defensive center. He's the ambiguously there center.
I think they've asked him to do two different things, and it's pulled him off the one thing that he's good at.
What are the two different things?
What?
They asked him to be a third line center and to score and create offense.
No,
It's-
but he's asking him to score.
Well,
It's
okay,
He's a
you put him
zero-
between
he's-
Nyes and
he's been
Domi
a-
to be a defense.
he's been
No,
a
Adam's
zero.
right.
I'm 100%.
Adam's
You,
right.
think, you think they were asking him to score when he was on the third line?
Jesse,
Well-
they need
So
to create
then-
offense from the third line.
So then what happens with the fourth when he's on the fourth line? He's still breaking down.
100% because he's
Exactly.
readjusting. And he's also playing with a guy. Oh, what?
It's on the
That
Leafs
is a completely
organization.
fair point.
I will say this, like it's obviously on Treliving, but like it's on Sheldon Keefe. We saw this last year.
Yeah.
We saw this last year.
He's a zero on offense and has always been. So I don't understand the logic of like, oh, we expected him to score goals from what? How?
You spent a fortune on Morgan Riley, on Ryan O'Reilly, because Kampf wasn't good enough. Holmberg like briefly took his job, and by briefly I mean for like 30 fucking games. Like, what are you doing?
And this is my
What
point.
Are you doing?
So they ask him to do something that he's not good at. He fails at it. Domi can't get going. Nyes can't get going. And then he's got to go back to the fourth line, play with two new guys that he's never played with. One of them who is objectively not a National Hockey League player anymore.
Oh, Reeves.
And we're saying, the problem here is David Kampf. No, the problem here is what the coaching staff originally asked of David Kampf. I'm sure he's got some. I would at this point be a little bit not confident if I were him. Then you go back to the fourth line and you cannot even trust half of the wing. Like that's a tricky spot to be put in. And I'm not saying his play's been good enough, but I will tell you that is going to mess with anybody's confidence. And on top of that, he just signed a 4-year deal. Usually guys who sign contracts, we saw this with the big contracts that Mitch Marner and Matthews got. There's a little bit of, you squeeze your stick a little bit afterwards. Like I got to feel like I'm up to, I know. They're human beings though.
If David Goff is squeezing his stick too tight because he signed $1.4 million or whatever it was, then
2.5
get him
over
off
4.
the team.
So are the 20,000 people in the building. So are the hundreds of thousands watching at home. Like, you know what? I can sympathize. Figure it out.
Okay,
That's
of all the players
job.
that are an issue on the Leafs, hey guys, all the players that are an issue on the Leafs, which one is most likely to return to the form that we expect?
So what players are we talking about?
Yeah.
Like,
We're talking about Kampf, Klingberg,
Klingberg,
Reeves,
Bertuzzi,
Domi. I don't know who else we can talk about. Who
I
else you
think
wanna
it's
include?
a team issue.
Yeah.
But I'm saying is David Kampf is going to be David Kampf eventually.
I hope so. Because Bertuzzi has already taken a step in the right direction.
Well, he scored.
An even strength goal. That's hilarious.
Great. I love that we
yesterday.
mentioned that yesterday.
That's hilarious.
And Robertson scored, by the
Robertson
way.
scored from a sick feed from Domi.
Unreal goal.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
completely wasted a couple minutes later.
Well,
Yeah.
I know, but that line is exactly what I said it was. I'm like, okay, they're going to be a bit of a liability. They're going to score goals. Just score
is it
more goals
is
than
it
you
an
allow.
issue to have a zero shutdown line?
Yeah, probably.
Like,
Definitely.
if the idea is our third line is also a hey, go have fun line,
Well-
then like where are they getting any defense from?
So here's where they screwed up. Let's pretend Kampf hasn't been this bad. Let's readjust. We're only talking about Kampf from last year.
Yes.
Fine.
Okay.
You have a fourth line of Gregor, Kampf, Lafferty. That's great. I think like they would bang and crash. They would have speed. They'd have like a teeny bit of offense, just a bit. But they'd be responsible enough defensively. You'd have two guys on there who can take faceoffs. Like he would, like Lafferty plays with snot. He does.
Mm-hmm.
He's not 230, 40 pounds of snot. But like, what is Reeves, man?
Well, that's the problem, right? Again, I told you I was fully out there. I was after the Wild game. I was pro Ryan Reeves. All right, let's get the guys into it. But I mean, it's just the evidence is so obvious. What's he at -9 now? It's
Something bad.
And the fourth line actually had a good shift. And then the second the puck left the offensive zone, the fourth line's on the ice. the Senators scored.
The fourth line all game was fantastic in terms of eating up minutes in the offensive zone. It's any time they had to play defense. And I don't know what forward group on this team plays defense.
And the reason we're harping on these things is the core's scoring. They're playing well. They're scoring in games where they're not even at their best.
Mitch didn't have a good game.
No.
I don't know.
He's still a little lost out there.
Yeah.
But then he had 4 points in back-to-back games.
Right.
He's just that sort of
And he
player.
had a one-timer he missed, completely. But
Yeah.
defensively,
Yeah,
I don't know. It's just I'm at a loss for who on the team plays defense outside of Morgan Riley, who's been pretty good.
But how much easier is your forward's job if you are not essentially playing shorthanded every time number 3 is on the ice? They're shorthanded. Even worse than shorthanded. It'd be better if no one was there because he starts in the right position and then goes to the wrong one. So you play like, oh, okay, I'm going to trust him. Oh, he fucking burned me again. This dude is Lucy with the football. Like out there, he's terrible.
And Sheldon Keefe did try his best in terms of limiting the minutes of the Klingberg. Like you mentioned, the defensive zone starts and the lack of them. But like the 15 minutes on the ice, there was 4 games ago, he was up to 24 minutes, and that's been cut down by 10 full minutes. He's cut back 15 minutes on the ice last night,
And it didn't get him any extra
didn't
offense,
help.
did it?
Didn't help.
No.
So what do you do except scratch him?
There was a mean tweet. It's like, can we leave him in Sweden? Like,
I think that
don't be mean.
I think there is.
he's got to figure
It
out.
sucks because this morning Elliot Friedman reported that the Leafs were in fact in on Matt Dumba, and Matt Dumba was interested in coming to the Leafs. But at the time, because it was July 1st, Matt Dumba wanted 5 years at $25 million or whatever it was that he wanted, and the Leafs couldn't fit him in. He ended up signing 1 year, 3.9 in Arizona.
The nature of July 1st is that you need to grab a dance partner so you're not left alone.
Yeah.
Dude. What about Dursey? What did Arizona give up for Dursey?
Couldn't have been much.
To get him back, like what a cool story that would have been.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, I think when you look at this too, this is from 32 Thoughts. Keefe admitted that there was concern about Klingberg, who was -3. I really try not to kick people who are down, and what I see is a struggling player exposed for the first time to a white-hot hockey market where your game is really picked apart.
What the fuck? You played in Minnesota.
That's true.
We talked about that on
Yeah.
last show a little. Like we brought that up in terms of like Ryan Reeves doesn't expect to have a mic in his face after every single game. I would think that a lot of these hockey players don't realize the market that Toronto is if they don't understand Toronto. But now that you're here, you gotta learn.
Now,
like you guys gotta step out of like our hockey world. Like maybe professional athleticism isn't for you. Like maybe it's not. Maybe you're good at sports despite yourself. Like football, basketball, soccer, fucking anywhere.
Except for North America.
Yeah.
Even I mean, Messi's doing pretty well.
Yeah.
I know he was an international.
And that's the thing is that other countries send their media over to follow Messi.
And like you see, like I saw in the WNBA, like during introductions, they bring out like props and shit.
Yeah.
Like there are other sports and other markets where they're looking for the attention. Give it to me because they know what it means. I just don't believe that. What? No one watches hockey in Dallas?
So here's
of
what.
Of course they do.
Here's what hockey players will have to accept.
What?
The game is growing actually very quickly, especially in the southern United States. It is seeing the franchise values, like the Toronto Maple Leafs franchise value year over year is up 25%. That is driven by multiple factors, but a lot of it is interest in the game internationally. And then beyond all that, so to all the hockey players that want to escape the media, if you're older, you're lucky because your career is going to wind down soon. For anybody who's young and wants to escape the media attention, this is not going to get better for you.
No.
And it's not just going to be Toronto. Like, I know the Rangers kind of go under the radar because there's so many teams in New York.
There's millions.
There's so many teams. They're just like it's. But you look at, like you said, markets like Minnesota, markets like Buffalo, markets like Pittsburgh, markets like Los Angeles, where the Kings, when they're winning, are everything.
Dude, even Ryan O'Reilly, like I think we've overdone the he couldn't handle the bright lights of Toronto. Yeah, so he went.
No,
to
he didn't want the bright lights of Toronto.
He didn't want it, but like then he went to the quiet hamlet of fucking Nashville,
where the fans are crazy.
where they're nuts, and it's
But the media isn't the same. To back up his point, the media isn't the same in Nashville.
right. But if you
How many reporters do you get on
Probably 2 or
game
3.
day as opposed to Toronto?
if Klingberg is not minus 1,000 and he has 2 or 3 goals, like we're not giving him any shit.
Yeah, but I think it's easier to stink in a different market right now.
Yep.
I think Adam's point is like so valid in that
It is,
like the
but-
media stuff it's going all online. Like the borders don't really matter anymore. Like if you want to
have
cover
instant
something,
replay. Our parents didn't have instant replay.
yeah, if you want to cover something from afar, you can 100% do it just through clips and stuff on the internet. But like if you want to suck day to day in a market, it's easier to do that in a different place that's not Toronto. I think that's fair. If Ryan O'Reilly, who is trying to downplay, the media market in Toronto is not the reason I didn't sign there. No, it's a large part of the reason you didn't sign here.
Yeah, but I think at the end of the day, that is going away. So
Yes, but I 100% agree for the young players that is going away.
Your ability to run away, even in Arizona, where they have not been traditionally most valuable. That team is going to find a spot.
Yeah.
That team is probably going to make the playoffs this year. By the way,
It's going to do well wherever they go.
and I think that this whole hockey players want to hide from the media thing. Better get used to it, boys.
Yeah.
Better fucking nut up because
younger players
we can
can't do it.
we can look
Stop
at.
asking for more money.
And I don't know
if you don't want to do this.
but
Stop asking.
To be
for
fair,
more.
to be fair for John Klingberg, he's never complained about it publicly.
No, so I don't
And
know where this is coming from.
Well, it's Freech. Freech said it's the first time probably, and maybe he's never been written about or talked about in these ways. Maybe not. And, I think the other thing that plays into it in Toronto is, frankly, we actually don't have a local broadcast crew. If I go watch Nesson, if I go watch a Dallas Stars game, if I go watch a Tampa Bay Lightning game, the guys who are doing play-by-play and color and sideline reporting are rooting for the team. And I love that. That's great. We don't get that in Toronto. Toronto, it's Sportsnet, who is trying so hard not to like the Leafs. They're trying so hard not to like the Leafs because they don't want to get criticism from Western Canada about liking the Leafs too much. And
well, now that I'm not there anymore, I can tell you it's a thing.
it's 100% a thing
It's
behind.
absolutely a thing. Hey, can you maybe stop talking about the Leafs so much? Oh, okay. And then, hey, can we talk about the Leafs? Oh, weird. It's the number one fucking thing on the website.
This is the point.
Like-
So normally when you have when you got a local broadcast crew, like let's say Bally's in the market or the Vegas Golden Knights are streaming their own games and they've hired the crew, those guys are not gonna. There's skin in the game for them. They're not gonna shred these guys. They're gonna root them on because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. In this market, there's no actual broadcast crew that's like friendly. Everybody's out to see, being very honest.
It's unfair to the fans too.
100%.
Like you watch any other sport, every sport has their own damn crew, and like you even go the Raptors. Raptors have their own crew. Like we have local games.
Yes.
here. And it's unfair to Leafs fans that we haven't had a local crew since Rogers took over the deal.
in defense of the national media, like what are they supposed to do? Gaslight the fans? No,
100
Klingberg's awesome.
100%.
Like, no, Bertuzzi's a great fit.
But it's a Joe Haggerty, guys, the guy in Boston. Or no, who's the guy that's always on?
Haggerty is in Boston. You're thinking of oh my God,
The guy on the broadcast?
Jack Edwards.
Jack Edwards. Now, people hate Jack Edwards. Bostonians love Jack Edwards, and that's all Jack Edwards needs.
LeBron.
I think he's one of the best local guys there is.
Rick Jenneret.
Rick Jenneret was another one where, and it's not necessarily, Rick was a little bit more middle of the road. Jack Edwards is 100% Bruins all the time.
Yeah, but when they score,
But the players will feel like I got somebody behind me a little bit on the media side. And that does matter. I don't care.
the biggest fan base in the sport. That's not enough. Go somewhere else.
Well, and I think here's the problem with John Klingberg is that his agent and this team put him in a bad position. The team offered him the contract, and everybody's blaming Brad Treliving, and I get you. You should blame Brad Treliving. My question is, all of the people that Kyle Dubas surrounded himself with are in this front office. None of them left, including Shanahan, Pridham, all the AGMs. Everybody's there.
Except for Spezza.
Okay, except for Spezza. And Spezza was sort of no, hold on.
Sure.
Hold on. So all of those guys are there, and all of them signed off on this deal. Remember, Dubas couldn't get a deal done without passing it through Shanahan first. And that's why he's not here anymore.
Yep.
So you're telling me Shanny signed off on this, and Treliving's going to take all the blame for this? You understand why Kyle doesn't want to be here anymore.
After seeing the Barry experiment from a few years ago. By the way, dude, every decision comes back to Shanahan. We pointed this out in May, and here we are fucking stuck with it.
Yeah.
Like, what are they going to do? Fire the guy? Not a chance.
And the board is too fractioned right now, having their own little succession thing going on, that I don't even think they're paying attention to fire Shanahan.
I agree with you.
It's quite annoying.
Well, and I think at a certain point though, and I think there was somebody I followed from the Leafs Nation who put this out there. He's like, if Treliving's a good GM, I think it was Joseph Zeta said, if Treliving's a good GM, and I don't think he is, he'll make a trade and get rid of, find a new spot for Klingberg. The reality is, guys, nobody's taking Klingberg. No. Your only option with Klingberg is to Jack Campbell him. That's it. You put him on waivers and you send him down to the AHL, hope he figures it out.
That's crazy.
And you know what? Maybe they should. James Myrtle wrote an article in The Athletic this afternoon, and he basically said there are moves that you can make, without saying it, that can free up cap space, $1.5 million here, $1.5 million there. John Klingberg is the easy one.
Whatever.
You waive John Klingberg, you put him down, and Max Lajoie, and you said this, I think, on your video.
Yeah.
Max Lajoie made one mistake, never saw the ice again.
In 5 minutes, and Sheldon Keefe said, nope.
Klingberg has been shoehorned into positions he cannot succeed in.
Defense?
So I put this as much on Klingberg as I do on the organization. This is Brad and Shanny and all those guys signed the deal. Sheldon keeps playing him in positions that he can't play in. Sheldon's been befuddling with his lineup choices this year. And then John is either he doesn't care or he's not capable. I think he's capable. He's got the frame, he could still skate, but there are you remember that when the Leafs were trying to come back again against the Buffalo Sabres, and he's at the blue line, and that the reason that Buffalo was able to get that empty net goal is because he wasn't focused. And they stripped him.
The capable thing is like arbitrary. Like, I don't know if he's capable of playing.
Sorry, I mean athletically.
When
you think
Right. No, but like I haven't seen John Klingberg play good defense in years.
Agreed.
No, but like the offense is gone too. It's
Yeah.
just
By the way, Dursey went for a second-round pick.
fire it into the moon.
I don't know if the Leafs had that to send to.
I don't think they had a second round.
Yeah.
1.7.
Yeah, but that's a lot. A second. I don't think we would have sat there and been like a second.
If it was the Leafs, he'd have to make 2.5 because.
But it would have been
Toronto
for
pays more.
1.7 for, I think it's more than 1 year for Jersey. If you can click on that, it would have been worth it.
No, it's
He's on his final year.
Yeah.
But he's an RFA at the end of it, I bet. Expiry status, RFA. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, it would have been worth it. And like, even if he's the same type of player, it would have been worth it.
Well, I look at it like this. At a certain point, they are going to have to do something. People are saying, well, they got to make a trade for who? For what?
Wait for Connor Timmins to return.
Yeah, I think that's going to be part of it. I think Jake McCabe coming back is going to help.
Is he playing Friday?
Don't know, but he is skating.
I imagine he'll
Quick
play
line rushes.
at least one of the next 2 games. I mean, bringing a guy back into a back-to-back, and again, I'll emphasize before going to Europe, is difficult.
Are you going to Europe?
I'm going to Europe.
You haven't mentioned it.
I'm going.
No, you know what, though? He's mentioned floorball more than Europe. And I got to be honest with you.
I was
You
being
guys know I
sarcastic.
won. I won. Champion.
I want to say this though. I do want to say this. If you got a team that's in trouble, you got a team that's having that's under fire, that needs to pull it together. Maybe the fans are chanting "Fire the coach" in the arena. Come to Toronto. And this is why tomorrow versus Calgary is going to be fascinating because we are usually the remedy that saves jobs. And I sure hope this Toronto Maple Leafs team, as flawed as they are defensively, so we know what they are, right? They can't play defense. Right. And they have no moves. They're fucking capped. People are injured. Yep. They don't have the depth. So you got to be what you are.
Jonathan hat-trick Bordeaux.
Score like Matt. And here's the deal. Calgary just brought up Dustin Wolf, and I bet you he shuts the Leafs out tomorrow.
Did they?
Yeah. So because that's what's been holding Calgary back to me. It's like that guy's clearly an NHL goaltender. I don't know why he's not playing there already.
Markstrom's had a good season.
Has he?
Yeah, I think he's been decent. Yeah.
I guess I've only ever seen the highlights where he's out of the net fucking playing the puck, Jesse.
But I saw this.
Dude, I said that all year last year. Just stay in your net. You're fine.
I saw the stats on goals saved above expectation, and he was like third.
Well, that's
or
great.
Fourth, you know.
So he's back.
I was like, oh,
It's a season on,
good
season
for
off goalie.
Markstrom, you know.
He's the new Pecorine. I'm bad. Oh, I'm elite.
Yeah.
Those were the only two modes.
I think when you look at this, the Toronto Maple Leafs have got to, for the meantime, outscore their problems. And I think part of this, you can't tell me it's just defense. Part of this is focus. When they score, they stop playing. And we saw it with Nylander. Within a minute and a half, Ottawa had scored already. That is a problem.
It's crazy how often that has happened recently. Now, I like the revelation of the third line. Like, now they have 3 scoring options. They're getting a little better in that regard. But yeah,
I love
gonna
the
have
third
to
line,
outscore
by the
the
way.
problems.
I thought that was a great line last night. Third
I
line.
liked it. Like, there's some warts there. I think give them
But it's a third line.
give them a couple weeks to play together.
Yeah.
I think they'll be fine.
I thought Domi, like we talked about Domi on center yesterday, and I was like shocked at that. Like, I was like, oh, you did a good job, you know?
Well, he's a distributor,
Yeah.
right? And look at how much easier it is for him to do that from the middle, and with
Somebody
people with offensive capabilities.
Yeah, someone was running with him like Nick was yesterday. That was good.
Imagine you go from playing along the boards with Kampf in the middle to playing in the middle with Nick Robertson. What a change! Isn't it weird? I just think it's weird.
It brings me concern, and this is back to the beginning of the conversation where you build another line that has like they're negative on defense, you know, and it's just like, okay, maybe this whole thing can be solved with a little better coaching. You know, Sheldon Keefe, maybe if you get your team to play better team defense up and down, including your D pairs, maybe we can solve this just through some coaching here.
They're not going to fire Keefe, by the way, for anybody that's asking. They just signed him to an extension. MLS, he hates paying for coaches that they're not using.
And replace him with Guy Boucher. Does this team strike you as one who could play Guy Boucher hockey?
No, for sure not.
Fuck no.
Well, I mean, listen, if MLSE loved, like, the Babcock thing, and we've seen this reported on, really changed things. The board was so upset about having to pay him for that long that they changed their policy on it. Nick Nurse, there's no way Nick Nurse should have been the Raptors coach last year at all. Let alone, like, he shouldn't have made it halfway through the year. And the fact that he was musing publicly about not being back the following year, it doesn't matter that there's 3 games left. If a coach does that, you get them out on the spot. He unfortunately for Nick Nurse, that's a whole different story. That guy changed. He was a really cool, happy-go-lucky guy, and he became an arrogant dweeb.
Remember when he used to play the guitar?
He was cool.
Arrogant dweeb is a good. I'm trying to think of a championship coach that pissed away goodwill as efficiently as Nick Nurse.
It's rare. It's rare.
Dude.
And so what I would say, and I wouldn't. Keefe to me has not changed in the time that he's been here.
No, he seems like he's finally allowed to be himself.
But if you think Sheldon Keefe is getting fired, no, he's not. They've just signed him to an extension.
Yep.
So he's staying.
Till 2026, I believe.
Yeah, it was a 2. They didn't have to go 2 years. They did
2
though.
years on top of this one, so it kicks in next year.
This is and this is the thing though. I'll throw this out there. These are not unfixable problems.
No,
I like what.
they're difficult to fix.
Jesse, you mentioned it before the show. Who do you really like that surprised you in a depth role?
In this lineup?
Yeah.
Lagesson.
Oh, yeah, Lagesson. I didn't know who.
Sorry. I thought it was just. I'm sorry. I should have set you up.
No, it wasn't on top of mine.
We've talked about a lot of things.
Yeah, I was
Lagesson-
going to say Noah Gregor.
Well, I like him too.
I like Noah
He's been
Gregor.
great.
Yeah.
Best signing in Treliving's career so far.
Yeah.
At least in Toronto.
Same with Lagesson.
Lageson's been great.
No, I love Lagesson's game because he knows his game. Like it's a defensive game. You know, he knows his role on the ice and he plays it. He doesn't try to do anything more than he isn't capable of.
And
I love that.
He cross-checks people sometimes after the whistle.
And he's a tough player.
Yeah, he's a bit of a dick.
Yeah, bit of a
Lagesson's
dick.
a tough guy.
Love.
That guy's a good lead.
Simon Benoit is higher up in this lineup right now than John Klingberg.
Easily. And it's not because he looks great.
No. So
that is a limited player.
and I know that Keefe will do anything but play Pontus Holmberg.
Well, they just called him up.
I know, but they're doing their best not to play him.
I'm fascinated by who they take to Sweden.
Yeah, and they can't bring extras, by the way.
It really, like...
They should be able to bring black aces to Europe.
Yes. Yeah. No. And people are going to say that's bullshit. But like, okay, let's say 2 players get hurt in a game, which happens all the time. I don't know. I guess you just play shorthanded
Yeah.
and then fly back.
Eat shit, dude.
Like, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? Like, if two players get hurt,
Yeah.
I guess you're fucked. Sorry.
Yeah.
Or how about this? You before the season begins, you plan your salary cap situation with that in mind.
Yes.
You plan ahead.
Weird, right?
Holy shit. Dude, they're oh boy. I won't say this team has the 2019-20 Leafs written all over them because the core is playing so well. Mitch didn't have the greatest game. It's not like all four are firing on all cylinders.
But the point of having four of them is they don't have to be.
Well, you can't ask for much more than a 13-game point streak at a William Nylander.
And 13 goals in 13 games
and
for
the
Matthews.
top goal scorer in the league.
Yep.
And Tavares has played great, and Mitch hasn't been at his best and scored 8 points in 2 games.
Yep. You should be able to win games when you have Austin Matthews scoring at an 82 goal pace.
Yeah.
Like, it's stupid. Like,
I think that's fair.
It's a ridiculous amount he's scoring, and you should be able to win games like that.
Wolves given you one poor performance all year.
I wonder if they look at a guy with Reeves, and I think maybe they've already solved the Reeves problem. Kiefer Bellows.
He's not signed to an NHL deal.
I know, but I do feel like that's coming. He's got 4 points in 4 games with the Marlies already.
He's looked good.
He has looked good. Another guy that they maybe like. Tell me why they signed Dylan Gambrell. Was it to be a Marley? Or was it to be depth forward? Like, it's time to try these people out.
Yeah, to be a depth center option.
Okay. What about giving, on defense, Topi Niemela a couple NHL games?
I don't think that's a great idea. He didn't have the greatest season last year. I think he's gotten off to a decent start. He's really small as well. Let him figure out the game in North America. Let him see that ice down there, and I think he'll be able to transition up here. But like that does not. It's just at this stage in his career that's Klingberg but smaller.
Alex Steves?
I don't know why they haven't given.
Would you give, because Steves has got 11 points in 10 games, would you put Steves, Kampf,
Anywhere.
and Noah Gregor on the same line? Try it out, see what happens?
Yeah, you could try it. I mean, I guess Steves would be on the right.
Well, yeah,
middle.
or Gregor could switch. I don't know.
Yeah, like that could work.
Max Ellis, do you give him a shot? Like, I mean, I'm
He had a
just
good
saying.
preseason.
You're going down.
I'm going down. A lot of Marlies have scored a lot of points.
Deep of the
I think
lineup
they'd
there.
like to make a trade before they try those options.
And nothing's coming until after Sweden.
Yeah.
We got weeks here.
And you never mentioned Bobby McMahon.
Which, because he hasn't played yet. He's been injured, hasn't he?
No, he's gotten in the lineup. He hasn't played very much.
Right.
Similar situation to Simone Benoit.
Get ready for Puck Drop at BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League.
Woo! I like how you said that.
Thank you. I think, you know what? Honestly, I grew up kind of wanting to be an announcer. So saying something, the BetMGM, the official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. It'll be fun.
Your dreams.
Thank you.
Well done.
Here, hit me one more time.
Of the BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League.
There's something, the way you say National Hockey League.
Thank you. I appreciate that. From game-winning goals to spectacular saves, BetMGM gives you the chance to take those highlight reel NHL plays to a whole new level. BetMGM has something for every hockey fan, so you're sure to find a way to get off the bench, get on the ice all season long.
Get on the ice in what league? Say it.
The National Hockey League.
Thank you.
With who? Who's the official? There you
BetMGM,
go.
the official sports betting partner of the National Hockey League. Okay, so
You didn't say that again. I was going to move furniture.
they're the king of sportsbooks. BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. Must be 19 years of age or older to wager. Ontario only. Please play responsibly. If you have any questions or concerns about your gambling or someone close to you, please contact Connects Ontario at 1-866-531-2600 to speak to an advisor free of charge. BetMGM operates pursuant to an operating agreement with iGaming Ontario. So we got up and we played hockey this morning, didn't we?
We did.
Yeah. And what did Jesse drink on the way to the rink?
I had my AG1.
That's right, he did. Why,
and it
Jesse?
made him better.
I hope so.
Yeah.
Like, I definitely know it made my gut health and my system better. I don't know if it made my hockey playing abilities better.
Well, I don't know. I couldn't come up with something nice to
I
say.
thought you saw it.
Sorry.
So if you haven't heard of AG1, it's a foundational nutritional supplement that delivers comprehensive nutrients to support your whole body. AG1 replaces your multivitamin, probiotic, and more in a simple, drinkable habit, so you don't have to have that gigantic pill box that my grandfather had for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
It's a little powder, and it comes with an AG1 bottle, and you pour the little powder in there. I do the water and then powder instead of powder and then water. You get 8 to 10 ounces of water in there, 8 to 12, sorry, and then you shake your bottle, and then you drink it, and you're good to go.
I like to put ice cubes in it too because it breaks up the powder.
That's
shake
weird.
it up.
No.
It's like a martini.
That's weird.
Just kind of, shaking it like a
Nobody
bartender.
needs ice cubes in their AG1.
What? How do you do that?
Bartenders, they do the figure 8 shake.
This was a really
Have
good
you never
ad.
known that? Yeah. Anyway, listen.
Okay.
Check out AG1 if you want to sign up for it. AG1 will give you a free 1 year supply of vitamin D and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/STP. That's drinkag1.com/STP. Check it out. So I thought this was interesting because the Leafs are playing the Flames tomorrow. According to Frege, the Flames have been making calls to see what's out there on the trade market because they've had a disaster start.
Obviously.
They will target individuals who they believe are a fit with Jonathan Huberdeau.
Yeah, I mean, you have to.
You're not dumping 10.5 anywhere.
So we could see that maybe part of that contract move, right? Player and maybe some retained, but
So
No, I thought you meant...
wait, what?
no. The Flames will target individual. Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought they were moving Huberdeau. Never mind.
No, you read it
I read that the
wrong.
wrong way.
Yeah.
Damn it. I was like, oh, this is big.
No, they're
Yeah.
looking for players that will be a fit with Jonathan.
Could
Huberdeau.
Bertuzzi be a fit with Jonathan Huberdeau?
No, the super obvious one is Anthony Duclair.
Oh, that's a good one.
Who is on just a god-awful team that can't score. I think he might lead them in 3 goals.
San Jose, you mean?
But what did I say?
God awful team who can't score.
Yes.
Who are the San Jose Sharks?
I should have specified because we're also talking about the Flames. But he was so I thought he was with Barkov, and I was asking around, and they're like, well, he was actually mostly with Bennett, and I think it was Duclair was the other guy in his line in Florida when he was going off. So I would 100% target Anthony Duclair.
Can't cost that
Do you
much.
remember? Do you remember? Because some of the Twitterites got upset that season because Huberdeau was a second line player, and he was receiving all of the praise, and he had scored all those points. And they're like, for a guy who's playing on the second line, because the Barkov line was the first line,
gives a
and
shit?
Huberdeau was the second line. And remember, it was a big-
Patrick Kane was a second line player for a big chunk of his
Have you heard
career.
of Yevgeny Malkin? Like,
Yes!
lots of great players play on second
Mark
lines. but-
Messier, Ron Francis.
I remember when some people were advocating for Hart Trophy votes for Jonathan Huberdeau.
Yes.
Who did that?
We might know some of the people that were advocating for that.
we couldn't.
That was some of the people who were trying to clap back at him, and it was just an awful argument.
Yager was a second line player
Yeah, like
when Mario was on.
what are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you
It
talking
was so stupid.
Draisaitl for parts of his career.
Yeah.
Also, is there something wrong with being on the second line?
I don't know.
I must
No,
be confused.
it's a dig. Like, we got you.
Sorry. Second
What
line
a
players.
loser.
Second line players aren't as good as first.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess Willie should shut the fuck up about asking for 10.
yeah, because he's second line. He hasn't cracked the first line.
No, we
yet.
got
Yeah.
you. He shouldn't get any Hart Trophy votes.
You know what I always say? I don't care that he has points in 13 straight. He's ass. Stop. Everybody.
Now, I want to ask you about this. There's a couple of things. We're gonna have a shorter show because we've got the tournament tomorrow, back-to-back episodes, but there are some hot button issues. Patrick Kane was included on CJ's list of Maple Leafs were included on Patrick Kane's potential list. He has been working out in Toronto, rehabbing the hip. Along with that is the New York Rangers, Florida Panthers, Detroit Red Wings, Buffalo Sabres. I feel like the Sabres and Panthers have got to be the ones that he fits the best with. The Leafs already can't play defense. I can't imagine that he would be here.
What problem does he solve?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, I suppose depth.
Yeah.
But, like, I don't know. At this point, you're putting him...
Who do you play him with?
That's what I was just trying to figure out. Like, what? Domi and Robertson? Right now? I guess Robertson's going down, and you could have
No, that suck.
Yarncroke.
That would suck.
Yarncroke on the left, Domi in the middle, and Kane on the right.
No,
Yeah, it's-
Reeves replacement.
Very cool.
Gregor, Kampf, and Kane.
Listen, Patrick, We want to let us just game plan this for you. We got this guy, David Kampf. We've signed him to a big contract. Need him to score some goals. You and DK.
And he's someone who you can't fool into thinking Kampf is good because he played there.
Yeah, he knows.
Yeah.
So I just thought that was interesting, but I feel like Florida is probably the most likely.
Well, if you're going to sign for, I assume, not very much, why not get the most bang for your buck in warm, sunny Florida?
Exactly. And play a pretty free and open hockey that suits his style.
And they just went to the Stanley Cup final, which is also appealing.
Jack Campbell cleared waivers yesterday during our show. He's going to Bakersfield. Calvin Pickard's coming up. The question is not about Campbell. Can he get his game back? That's sort of immaterial. What matters in Edmonton is what are the Oilers going to do about it? There was the report about Jordan Pennington, but Frege on 32 Thoughts on the blog this morning said that they would also have to then take his $6 million cap hit, and there's no way that St. Louis would take Jack's.
No.
So
'Cause they're not trying to be bad.
right.
They're not. They've taken a step backwards. They're not doing great, but they're not tanking.
Right.
Jake Allen is a possibility.
That makes a lot more sense.
But here's the thing, though. Like, if you're Ken Holland, you've got, what do you have, Draisaitl and McDavid for 2 more years or a year more after this?
It's got to be 2. Otherwise, we'd be talking about it nonstop.
Or maybe we should be talking about it nonstop, and we're not. How many more years do those guys have?
I think Draisaitl has more than McDavid.
Yeah, what are you
Well,
trying to say? McDavid has 3 more years under contract.
And how much
No,
does
he doesn't.
Draisaitl have?
No,
McDavid-
2 after this one.
Oh, okay, fine.
2 after this one.
What?
Draisaitl's on his last
right.
one. Okay.
What? It's this year, next year, and the year after.
So you need
McDavid.
a 2 or a 3 year A+ goaltender. You can't do this anymore. You have to throw your chips in.
That's what they got Jack Campbell for.
I know.
We talked about this after.
But
the
you've
show.
got your first round picks the next 3 years. Go make it happen.
We talked about this after the show. When Brian Burke acquired Chris Pronger from the Oilers. Who was the name of the GM who he wanted to fight?
Kevin Lowe.
Kevin Lowe. Kevin Lowe got extra conditional first round pick in there because he goes, Berkey, you know I'm just giving you a ticket to the Stanley Cup final, right? And Burke's like, yeah. So the condition was you get another first round pick if you make the Stanley Cup final, which they did. Like, why not have a deal like that where you pay the sun and the moon for a slam dunk goalie? Slam dunk. Oh, he might be good. Fuck all that. Great. Slam dunk. Vezina conversation every year. Like,
Okay.
now who's giving that up?
Who's that goalie?
That's the question. Oh,
It's not UC. Nashville's already said we're re-signing him.
so okay, you can't get that player. So I would look around the league at teams who have a more helpless situation than us, who have a goalie performing well. I'm kind of interested to see this matchup between Pickard, who could be the answer, I don't know, and Mackenzie Blackwood, who has actually done a valiant job in San Jose. His numbers aren't going to look good if you go and look. They're not going to look good.
Yeah, I don't know.
Heading into those 2 games where they gave up 10, he was doing well. Like, you are going to have to cherry pick through Shark stats a little bit this year. They're that bad. So, okay, you go out.
And you probably have to convince the Sharks to take on Jack Campbell's contract.
Like, can you pry a Connor Ingram out of Arizona?
I think they're going for it. I don't think you can.
Oh,
I think they're going to make the playoffs.
I'm surprised you didn't throw in something a lot closer to Edmonton.
Calgary?
A quick drive.
Vladar?
A
No.
quick drive north.
The guy that they tried to sign.
Jacob Markstrom. They got Dustin Wolf. They got Dan Vladar. If Calgary wants to do a soft rebuild, let's say, they trade their 33-year-old goalie who makes $6 million for the next, I don't know how you qualify.
I think
3
3 more
seasons
years?
or 2 seasons.
How many after this one?
2 after this one.
Okay.
That's perfect. Fits
So
the window
$6 million for the next 2 after this one. He's like I said earlier, he's been playing well. He's been playing okay. He's been playing average. You know, he's an .896, I believe, save percentage, but his goal saved above expectation is like 0. You know, he's saving exactly what he should.
average.
They have bad defense. You know, it's not on Markstrom this year, I find. So I don't know if Calgary's ever going to help out Edmonton. I don't know if that's...
Does Craig Conroy want to hand the Oilers the cup?
Exactly. Is that in the MO of Calgary to do? No. But if they can offer a nice package, something good enough, maybe you can steal Markstrom from Calgary.
All right, here's the other thing. It's been done. James Neal and Milan Lucic. That deal happened.
This is different though.
Yeah.
Like someone yesterday on Twitter was like, "Why didn't the Leafs go out and get Bogosian?" I'm like, "Because here's how it would have gone."
Yeah.
Okay, I'm Julian Breezeball. Oh, Brad's calling.
Yeah.
Hang up. Pick up the phone, fart right into it, and hang it up.
People were I tweeted or I DM or sorry I Instagrammed about that and somebody was like, well, if they wanted him, they should have just picked him up on waivers. I'm not sure if you've checked the Leafs cap lately. They could not pick him up on waivers. Bogosian was waived a month ago.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, a month
Leafs
ago
couldn't
they
afford him.
didn't know they were this bad.
That's also true. Nobody did.
They did not.
All right. So if you're Craig Conroy, and do you want one of your first major deals as Calgary Flames general manager to be sending a goaltender to Edmonton?
The other issue, and yes, I'm making it about the Leafs. Like we keep talking about the Leafs making a defensive trade with Calgary. Isn't the rumor that Calgary ownership doesn't want Conroy to be dealing with Treliving?
They held back Treliving from the draft floor for no reason other than pettiness.
Dude, they suck. Those guys suck.
I don't think they're going to do any favors to Toronto if we're talking about, them sending Hannafin to the Leafs.
Like
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, or whoever else it is, Zadorov. Like, I mean, what did Brad do to them? Other than leave a bad situation that's still bad, by the way.
Mm-hmm. That's what he did.
And so you promoted the guy he hired
Yeah, he didn't win.
9 years ago.
Hold on. The guy, he made them look bad because they didn't get the chance to fire him. He left. And that's embarrassing, man. If you're the owner, it's like, wait a second, I want you to stay and you're not going to stay?
Well,
That's embarrassing. I think he embarrassed
how
him.
did you become a billionaire letting emotions get in the way of business like this?
Are you serious? You've never seen a billionaire publicly get embarrassed and not react well?
They all seem,
There's one that owns a website that we are constantly
I know.
on.
They all seem like frothing maniacs. Like,
I think that's part of how you do it. I don't know.
it's got to do something to your brain. Like, you know how, like, you ever seen those documentaries? Like, they discover like an old cave person.
Yeah.
And they have like copper poisoning. Like,
Well,
maybe money poisons your brain.
I
don't know.
I'm sure that you don't get to that wealth level without changing a little bit. And I think if you look at the politics of it too, right? The Calgary Flames won an election for the provincial party, right? That arena deal won them the election. If you look at the way Calgary voted in the voting map, it was all for that party that said we're going to get you this arena. So I don't think that this guy likes to be embarrassed. I think there's probably a lot of pride, and I agree with Jesse. I don't think they're going to do the Leafs any favor. They're probably thinking, "Fuck you, man," and that's whether that's right or wrong. That's probably
First and
what it
second
is.
round pick,
For who?
Marshall.
From Edmonton?
Yeah.
Why not? Especially if Dustin Wolf's good.
Yeah. And you got Vladar as
Yeah.
your other guy.
And I think, and you know what?
You have 3 goalies right now.
Punt on. You don't have to win this year if you're Calgary. Yeah. Like what I would do.
You might just be bad.
soft retool. Be ready for that arena to be great. Be ready to challenge for the Stanley Cup in the first year in that arena,
Like,
the way you did when Saddledome was new.
here's maybe the only thing the Oilers have done well in this department.
Yeah.
They have not really wasted time.
No.
Let's see if it's Campbell. Nope. Let's see if it's Skinner. Nope. Let's see if it's Campbell. Nope. Let's see if it's Skinner. Nope. And they did that maybe 2 or 3 more times. And then they went, fuck it. Campbell down, Pickard. And they're giving Pickard a chance. It's not even American Thanksgiving. And if he can't do it, they move on to the next option, which is a trade.
Yeah, it's because you have 2 of the greatest hockey players living right now, and you can't build a winning team. So you have no excuse but to keep trying to do this, or you're going to be a giant failure. Ken Holland, I'm talking to you. Get your shit together.
It's worth mentioning they haven't been the greatest hockey players on the planet this season.
Yeah, McDavid's having an off year. I think
He's hurt, isn't he?
If
was.
if
I don't
that
know if he
game
still is.
was an indoor game on Sunday against Calgary, I don't think he plays that game.
No,
I agree.
no chance.
You know, I think he came back a little early because it was an outdoor game and it meant a lot to him. You know, I think he might have been afforded to take a little bit more time if it's just a regular season game. But I think he's definitely feeling something. Not in the way like it's going to keep him out, but in the same way Austin Matthews had a down year and he put up 40 goals because he was injured.
Yes.
But he still played the whole season.
He couldn't shoot. Like, you look at highlights of him last year compared to this year, he couldn't shoot the puck and he scored 40.
If I think the biggest mistake I feel like Edmonton is going to make this year if this continues is firing Jay Woodcroft. And that has already started to make the rounds. It was even in the 32 Thoughts blog today. Not that he would, but if things keep going, ... And that part of it is an organization admitting failure. I hope that Ken Holland just goes, you know what? Fuck it. I'm all the way in on somebody. We're taking a risk, like he was with Ekholm last year. A really bold move, and it paid off. And Ekholm's injured this year; he's not playing as well, but he was spectacular.
No,
he was really good last.
If we're talking about guys playing injured, that is an active player playing injured.
100%.
Like
because Bouchard and Darnell Nurse can't stop anything.
No,
so Ekholm has to play.
I feel like you need an element of public support to fire a coach.
I would want the Leafs to grab Jay Woodcroft as fast as possible. I really like him.
Yeah, man. And like Oilers fan, I haven't seen a single Oilers fan ask for that. You know what I mean?
No, it's just, I'm telling you, media rounds, right? You start to, again,
right.
This is not, I'm not saying it's imminent. What I'm saying is,
when do they come to Toronto?
You start to see the smoke happen, right? You start to see it mentioned. And I mean, to mention it in 32 Thoughts, I think it's pretty big.
It's desperation, though. Like,
agreed.
It's like what I was talking about with David Quinn. It's just one of those things you do. Like, you just do it to go, I'll see if this works. In the 90s growing up, like, that used to be pulling the goalie. It wasn't even necessarily the goalie didn't have it that night. It's like, well, let's try to wake the boys up.
Mm-hmm. Well, Lou Lamoriello fired a coach and made himself the head coach.
With 3 games left.
And the Devils were going to the playoffs.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Hilarious.
It's still one of the craziest things ever.
Yeah. I think I think with Edmonton, they got to make a bold move for a goaltender. I think that's obvious. Mm-hmm. They've done bold moves before. I've not been a fan of everything that Ken Holland's done, but Matthias Ekholm was a great move. It just was.
Yeah.
And when he's healthy again, it'll be a great move again. Draisaitl's only got so much time left. McDavid's only got so much time left. You have the guys right now. Your defense sucks, so you need a great goalie.
If they lose to San Jose tonight, I will hear conversations about firing Jay Woodcroft.
Really?
Yeah.
You think you put that at Jay's feet?
Yeah. I think if they lose tonight, we can start to talk. Like, I guess there's rumblings now. I would start looking into the rumblings. That's crazy.
Ken Holland has 20 bullets for a 6-chamber pistol. Like, how does this guy still? When do we talk about that?
Right.
When do we talk about how does this guy still have bullets?
Yeah. If I'm Emperor Oilers, like that's the first guy you're
Emperor Oilers.
Yeah.
Off with his head.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm fascinated. So this weekend,
there's so much there.
This weekend's going to be very, very interesting. We'll leave you with this because we are doing a shorter episode today. So I'm going to wrap it up. Yes, we are. Well, no, this is right.
I'm joking.
We're right on time.
Oh,
right on time.
Okay.
Good job.
Keep going.
Because of that watch.
I'm having fun with my friends.
Okay, well, we could keep going if you want to do a
What do
press
you got?
conference
What do you got?
Frege again. 82 game seasons during the salary cap era.
How many?
82 games.
That's so many games.
9 of 66 teams who were 4 points out of the playoffs after games on the date of November 1st have reached the postseason. The 2024 challengers are the Flames, the Oilers, the Penguins, and the Sharks. Last year's group went 0-4. So do we think that the Flames, the Oilers, or the Penguins can make it? Because I'm not including the Sharks.
Sorry, those are the only 4 teams in the league?
Yes, because parity, brah.
No matter how many points out?
Shit.
4 or more points out as of November 1st.
Sharks, Flames, Oilers. Who's the 4th team?
Pens.
Oh, boy. I think the Oilers, I still think they can figure it out.
Them not being in the playoffs that'd be bigger than the Stanley Cup.
That's
a bigger story.
They can improve 0% defensively, and if McDavid and Draisaitl play like McDavid and Draisaitl, they still win the cup.
Oh yeah, I think so. I said it from the beginning. Was never a fan of what the Penguins did this offseason, so I don't believe.
No.
I mean, I was a bigger fan after the Karlsson thing, but I still don't believe. Calgary and Edmonton, to me, I'm still convinced both are going to make the playoffs.
Why?
I don't know.
Both? What? What has Calgary shown you?
I know. Isn't that stupid? It's my brain. My
Yes.
brain
What's
cannot
wrong with
compute
you?
this. My brain cannot say yes. Calgary will not make it. It will not accept.
No, I think
you wanna-
Vancouver's legit.
You want to put some money on that?
Oh no.
I'll gladly take that.
I don't feel good about it.
Okay.
I feel like Edmonton has to.
I don't know.
The
I don't think so.
expectations- The expectations are so different for Edmonton. For the Flames, it's okay. Let's get back on track. Let's prove we're better than we were last year. Let's make the playoffs. Let's see what happens once we get there. For the Oilers, it's win the cup. It's win the cup. Now it's crazy to me though that they're still that close to a playoff spot. Gary, good job.
Wait, the Oilers are quite a ways back of a playoff spot.
They are now, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, what are they? Oh, you
That
were
was as
talking about
November 1st. November
Yeah,
1st.
I was like,
yeah.
I
yo,
did say that.
Still?
I did
yeah,
say
you
November.
did.
Right, he
and I
did
missed
say it,
How
yeah.
far out are they?
The Oilers?
Yeah.
8 points back.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's bad.
Okay.
Do you think any of them make it, guys?
Oilers.
Jesse,
No.
you think that none of those teams make it?
Yeah, I think it's a season from hell for the Oilers. I think they missed the playoffs.
So McDavid will be on the outside looking in.
He's done that several times. This would not be the first time in the McDavid. It's not like something crazy I'm saying.
No.
No, it's not. But oh my god.
It's just sometimes, you build a bad team.
Shit.
Fuck.
Oh, I hate that.
We're still waiting for a resolution with Connor Brown there.
Yeah.
Oh, whatever
know.
happens there, I think is going to be explosive.
I'm fascinated to see what goes on. Do we want to do a press conference or do we want to wrap?
Sure.
All right, let's do a press
Do a
conference.
quick one.
First question.
First question comes from Unknown MRZ. They write, would you rather have Justin Hall at his current cap hit or John Klingberg at his current cap hit?
I mean, Justin Hall.
Okay. First, gold medal goes to an asteroid. Silver goes to Justin Hall. Bronze goes to John Klingberg.
Yeah. It's it's not because I don't love Justin Hall the person.
He's a great guy by all accounts.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, I would have wanted the Leafs to get more creative than Justin Hall, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. He was. It's so funny watching people go like he was the glue that brought the whole thing together, and I mean I think he was very useful. I think Keefe overused him. I think they could have gone a million different directions before Justin Hall. They just never did once they had him.
Klingberg being bad doesn't make Justin Hall good.
There you go.
That's very good. This leads into the conversation we were talking about before from Ezekiel, I guess.
Ezekiel?
Maybe. How much do you think the Calgary Flames want their 2025 first-round pick back from the Canadians?
Ooh.
They gave their first and Monahan to the Habs
Toffoli.
for Steve's favorite.
Was it not Toffoli? Was that not the Toffoli trade?
It says they gave their first and Monahan to the Habs.
I think that was just the Habs taking on Monahan's cap hit. And he's
been good.
Yeah, he would add to the Flames straight up.
And they did that for Steve's favorite, future considerations.
Oh, the best player in the league.
Yeah. So, like, our idea, I thought it was important to bring this up because we keep talking about the Flames tanking, and like I said, trade Marsham and all that stuff, but they don't have their first round pick for not next year, but the year after.
Bradley.
That is Brad.
That's our guy. That's our boy. Should we be worried?
Our GM.
Shanahan has doomed this team. He's doomed them.
Oh, gosh.
They had their chance and they missed it. They're doomed.
So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I do think the window perhaps has passed on doing what the Leafs needed to do.
Yep.
Do I think the Flames want their fucking first rounder back? Yeah, I do. Yes.
Yeah.
What else do we say to that? Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I think Brad would undo that
You
trade
know
in a
what?
heartbeat.
In their defense, every team wants future considerations. They've all traded for him in the past. He's a good player.
This one, second last question. Fuzz Zeppelin points out this little picture from the John Boy Floorball Tournament. I don't know if you heard Steve Dangle talk about it at all, but Steve and I were in the John Boy Floorball 2 tournament.
I'm a champion!
John Boy Warehouse Games YouTube channel. They took this little fun screenshot in the round robin game. Steve Dangle was on defense on a 2-on-1
What's he
against
doing?
Hook Line.
Who does he have?
Steve is, if for everybody listening, there's two players there. They're coming over the center line, and Steve's caught in the middle. His back is to the play. And what does Steve do?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
What does Steve
Yes,
do?
your back is to the
Your back is to the play. The ball is behind you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your back
Objectively,
is to the
play.
Fuzz Zeppelin pointed out that you should practice what you preach, Steve Dangle. When there is a 2-on-1, pick one.
Pick one. What happened here, though?
What did you do?
Well, I want to know what happened. What happens after
I
this?
think she took a shot, but you didn't pick up anybody on the 2-on-1. You ran right down the middle.
Yeah.
Damn, that's crazy. You would have a better point if we didn't go up, I believe, 9-0 after this screenshot.
You tie up the passing lane. That's what you do. You tie up the guy without the thing because you're forcing the shooter to shoot. The goalie gets squared up on the shooter and has the best chance at stopping the puck.
I
That's
can
what
already
you do.
tell you what I'm thinking by looking at this clip.
What are you thinking?
So that's Drew Davis coming up the other side. He doesn't have the ball. Courtney Kobus has it. She had the best hands on that team, and Drew Davis was one of the fastest players in the tournament. So, look how my feet and stick are lined up. I'm trying to take out as much of the passing lane as possible. That's what I'm trying to do.
Pick one.
Pick one? All right. I'll tell that.
I'll
tell that to the guy stitching the banner there, Jesse.
Adam, I don't think somebody likes when we break down film of his game. Oh.
You got a little touchy.
Yeah.
Is he gonna? Do you think Steve's gonna text that listener like the Leafs text him when he's a little too hard on them? Steve's like, listen, you motherfucker.
How dare you? You don't know what went into that. Have you ever played floorball before?
Steve's callers are fine. Find a new angle.
Yeah. Have you seen
From Stevie Dangangelo.
Have you ever seen? This is an old movie. You ever seen Airplane?
Yes.
With Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes.
The guy's like, my dad says you suck. He's like, listen, kid, I'm busting my ass out there. That's got to be you. And I hope that kid is the person that asked is 14, just so it makes it funny.
I'll tell you how to play floorball the way George Costanza told the Yankees how to play baseball.
That's right. That's right.
That's it.
That's the last question.
That's the last one.
All right.
Someone mentioned, I'll throw this out there. Python3504 said, do you guys find Scotiabank Arena has become louder since Austin Matthews did his Get Louder goal celebration? I was at the game last night.
Oh, you were?
Sens. Yeah, I was there.
Oh, really?
What?
Yeah, it was good. Great. It was awful game to go to.
What are you talking about this whole game? You didn't tell us you were
Yeah, I
there.
got to watch it from a great angle. It's fantastic. I was
Money arson.
Middle of the 100s. Fantastic. See the whole play. Watched everything. Watched all the guys.
And
play.
I'm the billionaire?
But Adam, you would know this. I'm bringing this up because you have billionaire hockey tickets. The in-game entertainment at Scotiabank Arena, I think, is wildly improved.
Way better.
I was shocked by everything they did last night. The goal song sounds great.
It does, and the people clap. People clap.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and it seems like there's a little bit more of like hype around it. They do a good job with the in-game entertainment this year.
I think they're
Excited
tired
for
of being dunked on, and they should be. They should be tired of it. I think I've met and interviewed the in-game staff when I was there years ago working for the Leafs when I did the thing with Sasky and did some stuff for Leafs TV. But I can tell you that at a certain point, that kind of a brand, when everybody's making fun of you, I'll give Shanahan this. The in-game entertainment now versus 10 years ago is so much better, and he's been a big part of that. And so I give him his dues when it's due. And we can't have a dead building. It does fucking matter. You ask the Nashville Predators team from 2016 if the crowd mattered. Ask the Colorado Avalanche if all the small things doesn't get them fucking jacked.
Yeah.
Ask the St. Louis Blues if their fans singing the Gloria song didn't have something to. I think Toronto is finally starting to understand, at least the organization is trying to finally understanding that if you get the crowd into it, it helps the players and helps the on-ice product.
No, how about it's all right, and you do your little PTA dance at the end of it? You don't get fired up? No? It's all right.
That's it. You're not far off of how it was before.
Yes.
This is
the
a
winning
very
song,
good
though.
rendition of how it was.
That's
They
the
do-
winning
they
song.
do
That's not
this-
even the goal song.
You do this in the aisle on your way out of the building? with your little.
I shouldn't say
with your
that.
jean
That's how it
jacket on?
is currently because that is the winning song.
Maddie.
That
Fucking
one.
terrible.
Has Steve entered dad territory with that kind of dance, being able to nail it like that?
What shoes do you have on?
Oh, he's got Nikes on.
You know what?
He does.
Oh wait, no, sorry. The shoes I wore here have grass stains on them because I've mowed the lawn with them. But these are my indoor shoes that Jesse makes me put on.
Yeah, Jesse doesn't allow us to wear our outdoor
That's
shoes
not.
inside.
I'm not the czar of shoes.
You are. Why do I have these Crocs then?
Because we all agreed as a collective that we would keep the floors spotless and clean by having indoor shoes and outdoor shoes.
Yeah, there's
And
Maddie's
you go.
Crocs.
You can choose whatever
free.
indoor shoes or
Maddie
outdoor
hand
shoes
reveal,
you
by the way.
want. There you go.
We now know what Maddie's hand looks like. Don't know what Maddie looks like, but we know Maddie's hand. Hi, Maddie. Anyway,
I'm tired of this.
we will see you. We get the Easter Seals tournament tomorrow.
Yes.
Which is
Holy
exciting.
Shit! Over 900 of you have donated.
Wow.
Absolutely unbelievable.
Thank you for that.
We're gonna hit 1,000, and then we're gonna take Michigan and the White House.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.